What is up, YouTube? That's it here, bringing you a couple more games from the Enter the Dragon Masters Division competition I played in last weekend. We can see my team on the bottom left, going to be Terrakion, Amoonguss, Sceptile, and Rotom. I have to bring these 4 Pokemon to every game. You lock your battle box for the weekend, and what you lock is what you get. So I decided to go with a team with no Ubers, because I couldn't find any that were EV trained and ready to go. So I'm sure some of you guys watched the first video I uploaded. This is the same team. It's going to be the same team for the rest of the tournament. Leading off against the Tiffer, who has Kangaskhan broken, Rayquaza broken, Sylveon not Uber but still broken, and Groudon, Primal Groudon, which is extremely broken. So this guy has he has Mega Kangaskhan, a Primal Groudon, it's like 2 Megas, and an Uber and a Sylveon. So we're going to see if my team can leave a dent in my opponent's team, and I just wish me luck because I'm definitely going to need it. So the Tiffer, well, sorry, I'm leading off with Terrakion and Amoonguss. We're going to see the Tiffer leading off with Kangaskhan and Rayquaza here. So, huge offensive threat, physical threat on my opponent's team. I would kill for an Intimidate right now. If only Terrakion had Intimidate, it'd be the best Pokemon ever created, I think. It would definitely be in that Uber tier along with Rayquaza and all its other buddies. So we're going to see Kangaskhan Mega Evolve, gain that Parental Bond ability, and this first turn of the game, I'm just going to go with a super defensive turn 1. Don't want to eat any fake outs, and I wanted to know what that Rayquaza's plan was. I wanted to potentially check the Dragon's Ascent. So we see Kangaskhan open up the fake out, and we do see Rayquaza opening up with the Dragon's Ascent. It's a 140 base flying move, stabbed by Rayquaza, and it has like a negative effect of close combat, lowering your defenses if it's used. So we're going to withdraw Amoonguss out of there. Don't want to be eating Dragon's Ascents for free. And we also saw my opponent withdraw their Kangaskhan. So pretty standard turn 2, bunch of swaps happening to mitigate some of this damage. He swapped into Sylveon to eat my close combat. I swapped into my Rotom to eat the Dragon's Ascent. So Dragon's Ascent, gonna be a really cool looking move. I know you go up into the stars, Rayquaza looks super cool, and he just slams down and like just half HP to my Rotom, who like halves the damage. It's ridiculous how strong these Pokemon are in this tournament. And we're gonna start off turn 4 by Rayquaza going for a Protect. And luckily for me, he went for the Protect. Very, very lucky for me because I'm totally attacking the Sylveon here. I knew I would be faster with my Rotom because I am Choice Scarfed, and I decided to Volt Switch into Sylveon and Rock Slide to potentially KO the Sylveon, as well as try and clock the Rayquaza Sash, maybe KO it if it's not Sash. Remember, his defenses were dropped from that Dragon's Ascent, so I pick up the KO on Sylveon, saved my Rotom, and we're back to where we started on turn 1, Terrakion and Amoonguss versus Kangaskhan and Rayquaza. So of course we're going to go with the exact same thing we went with on turn 1. Going to try and pop that double Protect, try to potentially read my opponent's turn. I'm glad there's no like Tailwinds or anything coming out from the Rayquaza. I don't know if he learns that. I'm not too advanced in the VGC Uber metagame, but starting off turn 6, we are going to be able to pick up a close combat KO on that Mega Kangaskhan. Terrakion is its #1 counter, and it's the main reason why I'm running Terrakion in this tournament. And now, finally, it's Rayquaza's turn to Dragon Ascent. It's going to one-shot my full HP defense, Bold Amoonguss. Actually, I think I'm relaxed. So, super physically defensive Amoonguss still gets one-shotted by a Dragon's Ascent, but it will leave some Rocky Helmet residue on my opponent's Rayquaza, and we are going to read that leftover. So I thought maybe he would have Life Orb, maybe it's Sash. Now that I know that it's not a Sash, or anything like that, I can opt to come in with my Rotom. Remember, I am Scarfed, I do have HP Ice, and it's definitely time for me to try and check that Rayquaza. So we're going to see my opponent go for Primal Groudon. This is kind of like his second Mega. This thing has, what is that thing's ability? Desolate Land. It's going to make like a super Firestorm. No water attacks can be used, and fire is super strong. Good thing I'm not using any in this tournament. Like I said earlier, Choice Scarf Rotom is going to fire off a huge HP Ice onto my opponent's Rayquaza, picking up the KO because he was at -2 specialty. And Terrakion has nothing else to really do here. I figured might as well close combat on this guy. I'm still relatively early in the tournament, so I kind of just wanted to read how much damage close combat would do. We see my opponent go for a Earthquake, actually opting to go with Earthquake instead of Precipice Blades. I think that's the correct idea, especially with how my opponent's team is set up with a Rayquaza in it. He's going to clock my Sash, but, you know, you can see where this game's going. I remember I am locked into using HP Ice, so we're going to fire off the HP Ice of my opponent and going for that close combat, leaving him at a sliver of health. And I also want to let you guys know that Groudon, the reason why HP Ice is not super effective is because once he primal reverts, I guess, primal, don't want to call it primal evolution. Once he reverts into primal Groudon, he gains fire typing, so it's hitting for neutral damage, just in case you guys were wondering. And, obviously I'm just going to send up my last Pokemon Sceptile, and he just ran right there. So really, really great game from my part. I played it, to the best of my ability. There's nothing else I can really do to try and check these Ubers than use Choice Scarf Rotom, I guess. So that's a really good game one. We're going to go into game two in just a sec. And it's going to be leading off against Mega Electro. So this guy's team is a team kind of like mine, no Ubers. He has Mega Manectric actually, so pretty decent team. We're still in like the 1600s, so it's not too uncommon to see teams like this. And I figured I just recorded most of my battles, so we're gonna start this one off, get right into it. Not gonna lie, from this team preview, I generally thought that my team would roll this, guys. My team looks like a standard VGC team, and, well, not like a standard one because I have a Sceptile in it, but like my team looks like a competent VGC team while my opponent's team has a Tyrantrum. So I'm not expecting too much of a fight from this guy, but I felt I might as well record it just to show you guys that there are people that like to enter teams just like me who don't have a bunch of Ubers in it. So we're going to see Shiny Mega Manectric Mega Evolve here, gaining the Intimidate ability, laying down a huge Intimidate onto my Terrakion here, so any close combats or Rock Slides I fire off probably aren't going to pick up any KOs, like we see in this turn 1. If I wasn't intimidated, I definitely would have expected that to KO there. Remember, it is super effective on his Rock Dragon type, so that didn't KO. We're going to see Manectric come off with a Flamethrower. I know Manectric is kind of, it's very fast, but it's not very strong, so he's going to have to go with a double target onto my Amoonguss just to, actually, I think yeah, I went for a Rage Powder, so there's nothing else that, I made the turn to go like that. I should have been more focused on my casting, but Sceptile's going to come in, everything's going to be fine. Remember, I do gain the Lightning Rod ability, so if Manectric wants to go for like a Volt Switch out onto Terrakion or something, that won't work, even if I'm protecting. It'll just kind of nullify into my Protect. So, fortunately for him, he goes for a Flamethrower instead. Kind of doesn't really mean anything else. And I'm going with a Rock Slide on my Terrakion. I knew I would still be able to pick up the KO on Tyrantrum. Little known fact, Rock versus Rock is actually neutral damage. It's not very effective. So even though I was intimidated, I still felt perfectly fine going with that. And some of you might have been wondering why on the last turn, I know I'm going to pick up the KO on this Garchomp. I'll get right back to that. Some of you might be wondering why I went with a Protect last turn. I just wanted to scout if my opponent had HP Ice on their Manectric, and judging by the previous 2 turns where he just spammed Flamethrower, we can assume that he didn't. It's safe for my Terrakion to follow it up with a close combat, picking up the KO on his Mega, and I think he just has like 1 Pokemon left. So this last Pokemon is me, T-Tar versus the world, and this is a whole bunch of Pokemon T-Tar doesn't really want to mess with. So he's going to come in, start the Sand Stream, and we're going to go with a Leaf Storm from Sceptile first. Super strong move, one of my favorite moves in the game, and it's kind of funny. I actually pick up a critical hit Leaf Storm. I definitely did not need it. Terrakion could have one-shot him by itself. Looking back at it, I don't think I saw a Sash, so I probably should have went Dragon Pulse, Close Combat, but I just wanted a Leaf Storm because I really like the way it looks, and I don't get to see it as often as possible. So those are 2 games I played in this year's Enter the Dragon Masters Division tournament. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, not Uber teams definitely can fight the Ubers. You saw that in game 1. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the battle. If you guys did like it as much as I did, leave a comment below or subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.